So we've all been in lockdown for the last, however many weeks is it now, 10 weeks, to stop COVID-19 virus passing from person to person, making people ill. And we know that children don't really get very ill with the virus, and we don't always know. But if you're just washing your hands, please just use the ones in the area distance between you and the person that's washing their hands.
So Miss Adamson, if you go round to the corner, the fire exit door into Miss Adamson, you know the fire exit door into Miss Adamson's room? She can go in that way, right?
I'm happy that they are coming back to school, because being at home for long was stressful for the children.
We're happy for her to come back, and the planning that the school have done makes us feel a lot more confident.
However we try and normalise this stuff, you can't, can you? It's not a new normal, it's a new abnormal, however you look at it. I watched something similar on the BBC about kids going back to school into their new normal. Here's just a few of the highlights on that. You can throw a ball, but you can't catch it. Keep your distance with air hugs. Be sure to wash your hands, otherwise risk spreading your horrible dirt and disease. Our PC, neurotic, cotton wool type culture was bad enough before COVID-19, and now the introduction of COVID-19 has made sure that our kids are being consistently brainwashed into being OCD, anxiety riddled germaphobes. What are their futures going to look like while this continues to pan out, while these ridiculous guidelines and rules are enforced? What are their futures going to look like? How are they going to deal with future real problems? Here's some kids in Nepal having to go over a dangerous river every time they want to go to school. Here's some kids in China scaling a 2,600 foot cliff on a rickety ladder every day to get to school. Any sane parent wouldn't want their child to be crossing a dangerous river or climbing a dangerous cliff to get to school. But it turns out across the world it does happen. It turns out COVID-19 or no COVID-19, there was always an element of risk, and there always will be. We don't know the true long-term risks of dehumanizing our children and their future generations. We don't know the true consequences of the fallout of mental health issues regarding this new abnormal. But let us not forget that while this continues to be rolled out, it is based on stats that children are more likely to be struck by lightning than to be affected by COVID-19. As this continues to roll out, like I said, I don't know what the true risks are, but I do know that if I was at school at this time, how detrimental it would be to my psyche. The fear, the anxiety, the constant fear, the constant worry of me spreading my germs and dirt onto other kids or to teachers or to parents. The fear of having to wash your hands or feel like you need to wash your hands every 2 minutes. The fear of not going near your mates, wanting to play football or whatever games you like to play as a kid. That's what I do know, is how it might feel to be a kid now. I know as a teacher you have an incredibly stressful job. And like so many of us, you've probably got your hands up saying, hey, look, I'm just following the rules. You know, I get that. Whether you are a teacher, a parent or a citizen, so many of us are just having to follow the rules. I don't want to have to wear a mask when I go on transport. I don't want to go to my supermarket and queue like a complete moron. None of us do. I'm sure most of us watching this video right now don't want to do these things. But sometimes you have to say, well, look, hey, I'm just following the rules. No, sometimes that is just not good enough. Whoever you are, as a teacher, a parent, a citizen, sometimes it's not good enough to say that. And I'm no hypocrite. I'm doing my best, what I can do with my limitations, to try and spread some what I believe to be a truth. And when I am in this particular circumstance when it comes to education. How am I taking on the responsibility? How am I taking that as an individual? Let me tell you, me and my wife, to the great detriment of our general time, working time, my child will continue to be homeschooled. I was never a great fan of the indoctrination of school in the first place. So maybe this has done us a bit of a favour, who knows? But when it comes to what can be done, it's the question on so many of our minds, isn't it? Well, so much of it comes down to sharing, so much of it comes down to appreciating that we're not alone. So much of this comes down to us appreciating that there's a lot of us that are thinking and feeling the same, no matter what it is that we might be hearing. A lot of us appreciate that a lot of what's going on at the minute isn't necessarily what we want to see. And personally, I will continue to spread what I believe to be my viewpoints, my truths. And when it comes to just blindly following rules, well, maybe some of us should have a bit of a question mark over that. You can release the worst virus, disease, whatever it is you want to call it, known to man. My child will not be dehumanized. My child will not be indoctrinated or brainwashed. And that's the responsibility that I take. It's not up to anybody else. It's not up to our teachers. It's not up to celebs or the TV or media or social media. It's up to us.